And welcome back, everyone. I got the camera working again. As it turns out, I just need to re-update the OBS. Live and learn, I guess. But hey, look, I'm here. We can do this. SpongeBob versus Patrick. This one comes with from Kalia Chun. And when you think about it, we actually don't really have a concrete answer to this. Yes, as you remember in the original first few episodes of SpongeBob, there was this episode where they fought, but it was in the context of a event, and there was no determined winner from that event. So it does beg the ultimate question, I suppose. Who wins in a fight between Patrick or SpongeBob? And that's a little tough. That's definitely tough to kind of pin down. I should note I have not watched any of the later parts of the series. Maybe once in a while I'll catch a little bit of an episode, but I remember like the first couple seasons. I loved the first couple seasons of SpongeBob. That was good quality Nickelodeon, honestly. But yeah, as it went on and they kind of changed things up, it just stopped being as entertaining. But I mean, what do these characters actually bring to the table legitimately? What does SpongeBob actually have on his have to his advantage that he has that Patrick does, and what does Patrick have over SpongeBob? Let's look at Patrick first. Actually, Patrick being a starfish gives him a couple of advantages over SpongeBob that SpongeBob, in theory, doesn't have, but as we've seen in the show, doesn't ultimately apply. As a starfish, he's got insane regenerative capabilities, but it's on a very slow level. Literally, you can cut a starfish in half, and a new starfish will grow from that. Literally, you can just cut off a leg, and a new starfish will grow from the leg. That's how insane their regenerative capabilities are. Patrick, though, from what we've seen, is able to take pretty sound beating to certain degrees, but against individuals who actually have insaner physical capabilities like Man Ray or Sandy, he can't go up against individuals of that magnitude. But he does have pretty large bulk, so he can at least take somewhat of a hit. We've also seen that he has actually very insane strength, able to lift his entire home over his head and smash SpongeBob with it multiple times. So he's definitely got a bit of a strength advantage on SpongeBob. SpongeBob has demonstrated no levels of physical strength, at least on that level. There's been jokes about him being weak, but other times we've seen him clearly do things that are well above what we normally would see him do. For instance, he was able to just completely turn Sandy into a bowling ball and use her as a bowling ball. That's a lot stronger than what we see demonstrated in like that episode where he used the fake muscle arms. So there's inconsistency with SpongeBob's strength. Patrick, though, unfortunately, lacks a lot of finesse. He's very dim-witted to the point where in the beginning of the series, he was slow, maybe even a little stupid, but he generally wasn't like obnoxiously stupid. Later on, I do know they made him obnoxiously stupid. And that can seriously hinder his abilities to, perform and, fight. There should also be noted that he has no specialized training in fighting. That transitions just really into SpongeBob. Right at the gate, SpongeBob, we know, knows karate. In fact, he's actually pretty skilled at karate, capable of actually beating Sandy outright in a fight on a couple occasions. Like, they've been friends for a while. They would fight... they would fight or spar all the time. She'd win sometimes. He wins sometimes. I think it really gets overlooked, the fact that SpongeBob actually is a capable hand-to-hand fighter. They just overplay his like cowardness and his immaturity a lot. But he is in fact a capable hand-to-hand fighter, which is hilarious. He is also nearly impervious to harm. I mean, yes, he's gotten hurt before on multiple occasions. Just crashing into like a wall hurt him, but he quickly shook it off. But when oh god, the new episode with the new, it's like, I'm gonna kick your butt. Didn't do anything to SpongeBob, because he basically just said, because he's a sponge, he was absorbing all his impacts like it was nothing. He's, even when he is injured, he seems to be able to just kind of put himself back together to some degree. We've seen him literally, I mean, yes, it's a cartoon, so you got the Toon Force going on there, but we've seen him literally be torn in half and then try to reassemble himself, literally fall apart and reassemble himself. SpongeBob's got a lot of physical capabilities Patrick just doesn't have under his belt. Add on to the fact that he is ultimately smarter than Patrick and more skilled in hand-to-hand fighting. While Patrick may have a strength advantage over him, that really is mostly all there is to it. Is that he really just has a strength advantage. He's more dim-witted, even in the original part of the series, the early parts of the series. He still ultimately came off more dim-witted than SpongeBob. SpongeBob could generally get the upper hand on him if he had to. And yeah, if these two men in a fight, if that fight had literally been a legitimate fight, I think SpongeBob would have actually won that fight. Again, coming down to the fact he is just better suited in combat. He's legitimately good at hand-to-hand combat. He is more intelligent, and he's able to just take more punishment than Patrick is capable of taking. We rarely see SpongeBob ever in some sort of state of physical, true fit, like he's not in like a cast or something like that. We rarely see him in a state like that. He seems to be able to just bounce back. Now, granted, in terms of courage versus cowardice, SpongeBob's probably the more cowardly between the two of them. There is the whole Weenie Hut episode where he's trying to get into Salty Spittoons, like, boo-boos, I think you want that. Weenie Hut General! So, yeah. I think SpongeBob is a bit more of the scaredy cat, but when push comes to shove, he will, I think, pull out the weight in a fight. Patrick might throw some punches, but even if, SpongeBob is hurt, and we've seen, by the way, that when they did do that fake fight in that episode, he did hit SpongeBob, and I think he gave him a black eye, so Patrick clearly has enough strength to hurt SpongeBob compared to someone else. Again, going by the show's logic, what is demonstrated, being the fact that he's amazingly inconsistent. So Patrick actually can deliver punches that hurt SpongeBob, at least on some level. SpongeBob still has the greater degree of actual skill. So I would go SpongeBob in this fight, but Patrick has enough physical ability that if he were to get like a knockout blow on SpongeBob, he, in theory, could knock him out because he's demonstrated he can hurt SpongeBob. That is, though, just my opinion. In the lifelong debate of SpongeBob versus Patrick, who do you got? Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know, do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. And I'll see you folks next time. Later.